Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome as well. Today I'm joined by all of our newest plant babies. So today's topic is going to be anxiety in dogs. This topic was recently brought up because we were traveling, and during our travels I noticed that Lambo was having anxiety. Now, I knew that he had separation anxiety, and I've talked about this before. Toy poodles are prone to separation anxiety, so you can check out that video, 8 things that you need to know about toy poodles, and that's one of them. But I started to notice that he was having anxiety during our travels. Now, I was a little bit surprised because one of the situations where he was having anxiety was in the car when we were driving to Bangkok. And I was like, this is so bizarre because he loves car rides. Around the island, we were always driving in a car and he loved it. He had his head out the window, he was having the time of his life, and he was just taking it all in, literally living his best life. So during this car ride, I was super surprised, but then I did some research and I realized that it actually shouldn't have come as that big of a surprise. So I'm going to talk to you guys about anxiety in dogs. What are the causes? What are the symptoms? And what are some things that you can do to help your dog with anxiety? I also implemented some of the things that I'm going to share with you guys, and they worked for us. So I want to share them with you in case your dog ever experiences anxiety or has been experiencing anxiety, and therefore you can try it and help your dog too. So there are 3 main causes why dogs get anxiety. Number 1 is fear, number 2 is separation, and number 3 is aging. So first, let's talk about fear. In our case, this is exactly what was happening to Lambo. He was having fear of the unknown. So we were driving somewhere and it was unfamiliar to him. Everywhere he looked out the window, it was unfamiliar to him. The car was unfamiliar to him. Only we were familiar to him, and Mango, of course. So he was feeling really stressed out because he didn't know where we were going or what was going to happen. Even though we were with him, he had fear of the unknown. But dogs can experience fear because of a ton of different reasons. It's not just unknown situations, but car rides tend to be one of those, especially if your dog has always gone in the car just to go to the vet or some place that they don't like going where they have a bad experience. It's going to give them anxiety. It can be caused by loud noises like thunder or fireworks. It can also be caused by strange people or animals and fear of them. It can also be some type of stimuli like a hat or something else that scares them, an umbrella. And new and strange environments can also stimulate this anxiety. So there are many different situations that can cause fear in them because of something that they don't know or they don't like or just the vibe they get. The next one is separation. Separation anxiety is really common in many dogs, and this is something that some owners struggle with. We struggled with it as well, but we found ways to help Lambo cope, and he's much better with it now. He's pretty great with it, actually. He used to cry and whine and freak out every time we would leave, but now he just does a little bark. So separation anxiety happens when dogs are unable to find comfort when their owners aren't home or aren't around. The third one is aging, and some senior dogs may experience anxiety because they are starting to lose maybe cognitive function, or they suffer from mobility issues, and this can induce anxiety because they get nervous or scared or anxious is the best word, that they won't be able to see something or do something or react to something or get out of a situation that they don't like. So those are the main reasons of anxiety in dogs. Now, what are the symptoms that we can recognize that our dog is suffering from anxiety? So the symptoms include drooling, panting, destructive behavior, depression, excessive barking, pacing, restlessness, repetitive or compulsive behaviors, whining or crying, trembling or shaking, urinating or defecating in the house, and aggression, which includes biting. Not every dog is going to show all of these symptoms. For example, when Lambo has separation anxiety, he would whine and cry and bark excessively. But like I said, we've really worked through that and he doesn't do much of that anymore. But in the car, when he was having anxiety on our way to Bangkok, he was panting and trembling, and that's when I realized that he was having anxiety. So because I picked up on these signs right away, I was able to help him as quickly as I could. So now let's talk about treatment. And guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and support the channel. So my first recommendation for remedies or treatment is going to be desensitization. So desensitization is when you slowly introduce your dog to the source of their anxiety, but in small doses, and make sure you work at your dog's pace. And you want to do it at a decreased intensity. You want to repeat the exposure and reward positive behavior. This is going to go a long way over time. We're going to work slowly with our dogs. For example, if they have anxiety in the car, you want to try to introduce them to the car slowly, getting them to be in the car without the car going anywhere, having you be in the car with them, then going for short car rides, maybe just 1 minute up and down the driveway, maybe then around the block, and just introducing them to something that gives them anxiety that is then rewarded and makes them realize that nothing bad happens. Also, if you only ever take your dog in the car to go to the vet or go to the airport or somewhere that's going to be an unpleasant or scary experience for them, or just something that they don't like, then they're always going to be fearful of getting in the car because they know that the end result is something that they don't like. So take them in the car and take them to the dog park or somewhere that they're going to have a pleasant experience, because they won't know if the end result is going to be awesome and exciting or something that's like womp womp womp. So desensitization is something that we work through over time. Next is counter conditioning. Counter conditioning is when you work with your dog to change their response to something from a negative one to a positive one. So again, their favorite treats will come in handy here. Now, training is something that's going to help your dog with anxiety in the long term, but in the short term, there are also remedies that you can use that are natural and safe. So there's all types of things that are on the market for dog anxiety, like calming chews or calming treats or even CBD treats. And there's also natural stress relief products for pets as well. So I'm going to share one of my favorites with you guys. These types of products or treats that help with calming include some type of calming ingredients. So the one that we used for Lambo, and you might have seen this in our previous videos, is Batch's Rescue Remedy for Pets. And this, you just put a couple of drops in their water. I put it directly on Lambo's tongue, so it has a dropper. And there is no magic number, but there are directions. And I just put 2 drops on Lambo's tongue, and within a few minutes, he is literally so much calmer and his anxiety is like gone. He was no longer shaking, he was no longer panting, and I was just also holding him and giving him a nice squeeze so that he felt that comfort. So this really worked for us. It might not work for everybody, but it really worked for us. So I do recommend it. You also want to pet your dog and praise them and give them that comfort. So I was doing that with Lambo in the car, and I was giving him like a nice big hug and just holding him tightly. So there are also anti-anxiety pressure wraps or weighted blankets that you can also get for your dog, and those have been shown to help dogs with their anxiety as well. So I was trying to mimic one of those blankets or wraps by just holding him really close to me and giving him that comfort. So depending on your dog and how severe their anxiety is, you might want to actually have situation avoidance. So there might be situations that you want to avoid so that your dog doesn't experience that anxiety. I know we talked about counter conditioning and desensitization, but sometimes it's just best to avoid the situation when you can. But things like riding in a car, you won't be able to avoid that forever. So situations like that, you're going to want to use desensitization. So you just need to use your best judgment on depending what gives your dog anxiety. Whether we use training or short-term techniques or just situation avoidance altogether. Now you can also try a DAPP Diffuser for at home, and these are dog appeasing pheromones. So what it does is it releases these pheromones that your dog can sense, and it brings them a sense of comfort. Now, I don't use one and I don't know too much about it, but I'm going to tell you about it or read you about it. The pheromones are synthetic compounds intended to mimic the pheromones that mother dogs release when nursing their puppies. The idea is that the scent brings back memories of soothing moments that helps decrease their anxiety. Other than this DAPP diffuser, something that I have used before is just a regular diffuser, and I diffuse calming scents like lavender. So if you have a diffuser and you have lavender essential oil, you could try that as well, since it is a calming thing. And that would be a good thing to use if your dog has separation anxiety when they're home alone. In addition to the diffuser, I would also include some calming music. On YouTube, you can find tons of playlists with dog calming music or dog anxiety music, and it's just soft, like piano, relaxing music. Honestly, whenever I play it for Lambo, he just goes straight to sleep. And he sleeps like a baby. Now, to avoid certain types of anxiety, like at the dog park or when they see other people or other animals, you want to socialize them when they're puppies. So that is a key when you have your dog as a puppy. Now, another tip is to make sure that you're offering enough physical and mental stimulation, and you're exercising your dog and you're giving them lots of opportunities to keep their minds busy. Regular exercise and stimulation is going to be crucial for your dog's development and their mental and physical well-being. A stimulated dog is less likely to pick up destructive behaviors, but additionally to this, diet is also important. A healthy, wholesome diet. Physical stimulation, mental stimulation, and a good diet is going to make sure that your dog is well balanced and you can avoid anxiety and some of these destructive behaviors or fearfulness. And always remember that you can always consult with your vet or a professional dog trainer to help you work through your dog's anxiety and find out what are the best remedies for them. I would definitely recommend talking with your vet because some dogs might need medication or your vet might have the best solution for you. You can exercise your dog before the trigger that gives them anxiety for 15 to 20 minutes. A nice long walk, throwing the ball around and getting them to really move their bodies, because exercise releases those feel-good endorphins and it also tires them out. So yeah. Those are all of my anxiety tips for dogs today. So I hope that it is helpful for you and your dog. It was definitely helpful for us with Lambo, and Lambo has improved significantly with his anxiety. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.